my summer style. Yeah, I think it's all about the fit, the feeling of effortlessness, but intentionality. Do something like...
There is going to be an upset. Upset in the making. I couldn't believe what I saw. I thought it was going to go one way. I believe that I was wrong. Coach Reagan, I just finished watching the Mr. Olympia Classic Physique pre-judging at the venue itself, front row seats. And so, what a crazy turn of events. And so, let's start by talking about guys who were expected to do very well, but who didn't make it into the top 10. And so, first, Logan Franklin. Logan Franklin was peeled. He looked amazing. He looked fantastic. But I think he was perhaps 1 or 2% off from his all-time best. And that is enough at a competition at this high of a level for him to move out of the top 10. He has a great physique, but he doesn't have what I call the classic symmetry. The tiny, tiny waist. What?
Nelly Furtado just flipped the script on her haters. Literally. After trolls twisted her iconic "Act Like a Bird" lyrics into cool anthem jokes, Nelly fired back with humor and confidence.
Would you cook for me for $100?
That'd be so fun. Right now,
Would you cook for me for $100? Would you cook for me for $100?
I'm going out for dinner right now.
Would you do it later? You can do it later in the week you're down. Would you cook for me for $100?
Sure.
Right now? Wait, if you were to cook something, what would you cook?
Some chicken fry. I live just down the block.
Wait, so is this your home?
It's my parents' home.
Hello, I'm Sam. Nice to meet you. Oh, wait, is this you?
That is me with contacts on when I was in 8th grade.
You kind of, I
The
mean,
face, dude. Come on.
the Wasabi's smaller than that.
What's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick's Strength and Power in the finals of the 2025 Mr. Olympia Men's Open Bodybuilding. Just wrapped up. Derek Lunsford becoming the first Mr. Olympia since Big Rami to become a two-time Olympia champion. So Derek Lunsford did what I thought he was going to do. I'm not super surprised by this. I thought he was going to win after prejudging. I thought he was going to win after finals. In second place, you had Hadi Chupin. In third place, this was kind of surprising, Andrew Jack moving up to third, and it was surprising because he defeated reigning Mr. Olympia, Samson Downer, slipping down to fourth place, and Martin Fitzwater rounding out the top 5 and 5th. So let's talk about it. I feel like this was a very close top 2. I think the entire finals, it was definitely just between Derek and Hadi. They even did essentially a third confirmation round.
Good job.
Derek, Hadi, Andrew, and Samson. And in the very beginning of finals, they did 3 full posing rounds. Just Derek and Hadi in the center. And then another one at the end of finals, like an extra confirmation round. So it's been very close between the two. I'm very curious to see these scorecards. I'm going to do a full scorecard review tomorrow because I think it had to be close. They were definitely making the decision live at the finals. And look, congratulations to Derek. I do think he looked good. I think he was kind of the underdog here in the sense that a lot of people were rooting against him. A lot of people were rooting for Nick. A lot of people were rooting for Samson. After prejudging, I feel like a lot of people were rooting for Hadi. And despite everything that Derek accomplished this year, the Arnold Classic victory over Samson, the Pittsburgh Pro victory over Nick, now completing the Triple Crown, as he calls it, here at the Olympia, I feel like so many people were rooting against him. And I keep going back to this poll that I did on my channel. 50,000 plus people voted. Only 5% had Derek winning the Olympia this year. So even though on paper he had beaten Samson, the reigning Mr. Olympia at the Arnold, he had beaten Nick, one of the fan favorites, he was still kind of the underdog in the eyes of the fans. And I think he proved his point here. And one thing that I thought was interesting is when he was talking to Bob in his interview, he said that the reason for the delay, like because finals started a bit late, was that Derek wasn't feeling well and he wasn't ready to come out. And that's also why, because I saw a lot of people message me about this, Every year at the Olympia, when they do their individual posing routines at the finals, the reigning Mr. Olympia, or the defending Mr. Olympia, is always the last person to do their routine. And a lot of people noticed that Samson was not the last person to do his individual routine, but Derek was. And apparently that's because he wasn't feeling well backstage. So I don't know exactly what that's about, but that was the reason why finals was delayed a little bit and why Derek was the last one to come out on stage. Now look, I'm going to be honest here. I'm very curious to hear what you guys think in the comments below. I think this is going to be a hotly debated, maybe contested Olympia result. I haven't really disagreed with an Olympia decision in a few years now. This one is one that I'm a little bit surprised about, if I'm being completely honest. I thought Derek was definitely leading prejudging. That's what I had heard, that's what I thought, that's what I saw. After prejudging, I thought Derek was winning, but I'm going to be honest with you guys. After finals, and at the end of prejudging, that final call-out they did at prejudging, I had Hottie slightly ahead, but that was only one call-out of several that they did at prejudging. Then at finals, I feel like Hottie came back better, Derek came back better. Honestly, all of them did. Derek, Hottie, Samson, Andrew, they all came back better for the finals. But I thought Hottie really brought it, and I feel like that's why they did so many comparison rounds. Because I feel like Derek was probably winning after prejudging. Derek was probably winning starting out the finals. But I think Hottie really, really pushed him here. Hottie was on point. And I did a prejudging video right before I did the finals video. There's 4 poses that I think you can make a really strong argument for Hottie over Derek, and even in prejudging, and I think even more so in finals. It's the abs and thighs, the most muscular, the front double bicep, and even the back lat spread. That's half of the poses. So that doesn't mean that Hottie wins, it's only half, but I think those 4 are a really strong argument for Hottie, like even hard to argue for Derek. So I'm very curious to hear what you guys think in the comments below, because this definitely was a close one. And I think that honestly, Hottie almost had it. Hottie was really right there on the edge. And I'm a little bit disappointed because I thought Hottie was going to pull it off. I felt like his conditioning was on point, both prejudging and finals. He just kept getting better and kept getting tighter as the night progressed.
Out here, every road leads to pizza. Hot, cheesy, hand-prepped, and ready when you need it. Get 2 slices and a Pepsi for just $8. Only at Pilot and Flying Jet.
Kept getting better and kept getting tighter as the night progressed. And I think also, you got to consider, with Hottie, the fact that he was stuck in Dubai, he got his visa late, and this year he is officially not working with Hani Rambod as his coach until he's even confirmed that. Hani hasn't been coaching him. So Hottie has been doing this on his own. And I think that's a testament to what kind of bodybuilder Hottie really is, the type of condition and consistency that he has, whether he's working with a coach or not. He was still able to bring it and really push Derek to the point where, you know, by the end of this finals, I thought Hottie might have it. I'm not surprised that Derek won. I think Derek did enough to win. I felt like he was going to win for prejudging. But by the end of this finals, when they did that extra confirmation round, I really thought there was a chance that Hottie had overtaken Derek here. That's how good Hottie was. Consider all the circumstances. I think extraordinarily impressive what Hottie. I think Sam better at the finals, and this is the pre. Did at the prejudging. All he had to do was really fill out for the finals, and he did. That still wasn't even enough to get him in the top 3. So again, we have back-to-back years where the reigning champ has dropped significantly. Last year, Derek was the reigning champ and dropped to 3rd, and then Samson won. This year, Samson was the reigning champ and dropped to 4th, which is the biggest fall, I think, since Big Ramy in 2022 of a reigning champ. And honestly, you know, if you watch my video that I did right before finals, I think, you know, sadly, I think that was fair for Samson. I think people were shocked by it, but I think it was the right call. If you watch the prejudging video that I did, the pose for pose, you really can't make a strong argument for Samson in almost any of those 8 poses. against Derek, Hottie, or Andrew Jack. I think he did try to come in with crazy condition. I feel like he was really trying to focus on condition. That's why he was so downsized. That's why he looked so much smaller. And I think it's pretty apparent that he probably overdid it. Whatever he did too much of. He came in too downsized. He came in too flat. He came in too depleted. He did fill up good for finals, but I think that's what led him to drop to 4th place. And I guess we kind of could have saw this coming with the guest posing that he did at like 6 weeks out from the Olympia. A lot of people commented that he looked significantly smaller there, and he was significantly smaller here, but it led to like this kind of flat and not even crisp look. And I kind of challenge you guys, if you thought that Samson should have won, in the comments below, go pose for pose, look through all the 8 mandatory poses. Tell me which pose you have Samson winning. I genuinely don't think there's a strong argument for any of the poses that Samson wins. So I think that was a fair decision. Nick Walker, of course, is out of the top 5.
Without any doubt, the greatest bodybuilding show on earth. No one misses. I'll show the world.
I'm very excited.
As our speaking, and to your winner, Derek Lunsford.
Actually, let's go right now. The competitor list just got posted a second ago. So here's the full placings for the 2025 Mr. Olympia Men's Open Bodybuilding category. Derek Lunsford in 1st. So he was actually, yeah. Here we go. Derek Lunsford was winning prejudging pretty handily, which is what I thought. But at finals, it was a 1-point decision. He had a score of 8. Hottie had a score of 7. So Hottie was really on his ass at the finals. Derek was leading by 3 at prejudging, which I'm not surprised. I thought he was winning. I heard he was winning. Finals, Hottie was pushing at 1-point decision. So Hottie in 2nd, Andrew Jack in 3rd, Samson Dowda in 4th. It looks like he was in 4th at both prejudging and the finals, and he got even worse. Oh wow, that's surprising. Yeah, he got even worse at finals, and it looks like maybe Andrew Jack got better, Samson got worse at finals. That's kind of surprising. Martin Fitzwater in 5th. Nick Walker did end up in 6th place. Brandon Curry in 7th. I want to give a shout out to Brandon. Brandon really impressed me here. In my Olympia predictions, I didn't have Brandon in my top 10. There were honestly some shots where I thought Brandon looked better than Nick Walker, and Nick was the most hyped bodybuilder going into this show. So shout out to Brandon. You proved me wrong. You're still hanging in there. You're the man. 8th place, Tonio Burton. 9th place, William Bonac. Rounding out that top 10, Good Vito. The only bodybuilder making his pro debut this year to crack the top 10. Shout out to Good Vito, man. He really brought it. Right behind him, Beirut Stabani in 11th. Jordan Hutchinson in 12th. Urs Kalasinski, one of the more hyped guys going into the show, 13th. Regan Grimes, 14th. Rubiel Mascara just narrowly avoiding last place. 15 out of 16 placings, Rubiel. Everybody else with a tie for 16, which is considered last place. So what an exciting Olympia, guys. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. I'm sure that the internet is going to be on fire after this one, because I felt like watching this, even though that I thought they were going to give it to Derek. When I was watching these finals and they announced Derek as the winner,
this isn't just a wallet, it's a rare find. There's something different about owning something almost nobody else has. That's why when Ridge dropped their limited Sugi collection, I had to grab them. Inspired by the...
My ninjas, you ask and I deliver. I got an email from one of the ninjas. He said he loves the compilation, but he would love to see me react to just a single video. And he sent this one to me. I think the creator name is River TV. Yeah, I'm gonna do it. If y'all like it, let me know. If y'all don't like it, also let me know. You know what I mean? Listen.
So, what's it like being with the love of your life, Steph Curry? Love of my life? I don't even like him. Love?
Okay. Are they saying, is she saying that's how Aisha Curry is dissing Steph Curry? I'm not even surprised, but that's how these girls need to do them light-skinned ninjas, man. Yeah, they have too much of that Caucasian in their blood, you know what I'm saying? That's why they soft like that. I'm just playing. You know, it's the dark skin versus the light skin. It's like PS5 versus Xbox. You know, dark skins is PS5. Where they're superior. Oh, sorry. Oh, my bad. Let me continue the video.
You gotta stop. Like, do you think you influenced his game at all? Or I don't even think he can play. Personally,
I'm casually scrolling threads, and I see Ayesha Curry online on another podcast embarrassing Steph Curry.
Ayesha is a perfect example of why it is so important to have a whole face.
Oh, is it? Yeah, River TV.
What's up, guys? It's your girl River, and I'm back again with another video. So I did not expect for us to be talking about Ayesha Curry again so fast. Okay?
Hold on, let me stop and just say, black means forever, nobody's never. River is a gorgeous lady. Look like she got that natural hair rocking too, my ninjas. Yeah. If Mrs. Ninja act up, let River know. Wait, is she married? Is River married? If River's married to River's husband, the wife look good, but if you mess around, I'll just play. Let's keep going.
As you guys, many of you know, I reacted to her Call Me Daddy podcast interview very recently, in which, you know, she kind of expressed the fact that she, you know, wanted to be a rich auntie. She never wanted to be married, and she never wanted to have kids.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So, I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be a career girl, and that's it.
Interestingly enough, certain parts of that interview have now resurfaced, okay? So much so that there were blog sites posting pictures like this saying, you know, or asking people to pray for Steph Curry.
Jesus Christ.
Right? And so amongst the...
my ninjas, you see what I tell y'all, that young wicked. Imagine getting married to Steph Curry. Now, I don't follow too much with the basketball, but I know Steph Curry is so good with the shots that he basically changed the game. Steph Curry joined the league, everybody wanted to start shooting threes. And you're telling me, she's married to this man, and this is how she's talking? Boy, I tell you, these women are so disrespectful, my ninjas. God.
New clips that resurfaced in which she's going more in depth.
After we got married, we found out we were pregnant with our daughter so quickly. I didn't even have time to think about what I wanted anymore. I have goals for myself. Like, this doesn't feel right. I love being a mom, but I love to too.
What goals could she want anyway? You're married to Steph Curry. So whatever goals you had set for yourself, I doubt you would be making the type of money Steph Curry is making. So you can't please these women, man. It's real shit. You can't please them. If you have a greedy woman, my ninja, I'm sorry for you, man. Shit.
And I need to get my together.
People are now having new conversations on, wait a minute, maybe this is why men are not wanting to get married.
Yeah.
Okay? It's like almost as if women are now starting to understand the plight that men have been having for all this time, going on social media and expressing their grievances against marriage and also against women.
So, what's it like being in your life? Love of my life. This game at all, or I don't even think he can play. Personally.
Cool.
I don't really like the dude. I never really wanted him though. Like, to be honest, I got my kids, I guess, but I never wanted that either. Like,
that's what she said.
I really wanted.
That's what is that what she said, my ninja? It can't be. It cannot be. I don't want to believe that. I believe she's exaggerated here. That's what I want to believe. Let's see.
There's one boy from my neighborhood. I really wanted him, but I ended up with stuff like, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, he went to the Olympics, so was he even good? He did alright. I was really like looking at LeBron. That's what I really wanted.
Okay.
I guess I don't know.
But also, besides that, this woman's video has also been plastered all over different blog sites and social media, all of the above, with her take on the reasoning behind Ayesha Curry's actions. So I'm going to go ahead and press play, pause play, give you guys my reaction to everything that she has to say, and we're going to watch it together.
If you live in a Missouri zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years,
my reaction to everything that she has to say, and we're going to watch it together.
Aisha Curry is a perfect example of why it is so important to have a hoe phase. Go be a hoe. Be a hoe. But be a safe hoe though. Like, protect yourself and don't get pregnant.
Okay, let me just pause this for just 1 second. Okay, let me just pause it for 1 second. I hate to say it, but this is the rhetoric that keeps women single.
Yes.
This is the rhetoric that keeps women unhappy in relationships.
Yes.
This is the rhetoric that makes women or assists women in ruining and damaging their...
Hold on, what the f is a cis woman? What is it? Hold on. I'm sorry, I'm not going to look it up. Whatever.
Relationships, because of this mindset that they have to experience a plethora of different people or men in order to feel satisfied with the one, because a lot of these women are competing with men. But let me just continue.
No, my ninjas, one thing you don't want is a girl with a high body count. I have a very close acquaintance, okay? I don't call these women friends, I mean, just because you already know. She got around a little bit, but now she's older. She wants to settle down. She wants to get married, and she wants to have 2 more kids. She's a single mom. But the guy who she's with now, he doesn't please her all the way sexually. You know why? Because she's comparing him to 2 other guys that she's been with before. And that's how women are, my ninjas. Yeah, a whole phase will only ruin a woman. If you know girl had a whole phase, why even waste your time with her, man? It's just real shit.
That's why she's sitting over there feeling trapped. Trapped with Steph Curry. Sometimes you gotta go through some stuff to really appreciate what you have. She probably ain't never been hoed. She probably ain't never been drugged through the mud by a dude. She probably never had her heart broken time and time again. That's why she can't really appreciate what she has, because
that's some stupid ass advice. I've seen people do crack and cocaine, my niggas, and the way they look is enough to make me not want to try it.
It's like, I need something edgy. I need something fun. Like this mom stuff. This married to Steph Curry. This shit's boring.
I think that women have to understand, right? The ideology that you are not one spreading to other women, but that you are giving men this idea that the only way a woman can appreciate a good man is after she's been dog walked. Like, let's just repeat that a couple of times and see if that makes any sense. Because it does.
No.
And just to go out there, watch.
Bro, let me stop it one more time. It's like the more River talk is the more nice she looks, my niggas. What the hell? Well, I never saw this woman before. She might need a real nigga in her life, my niggas. Hey, what y'all doing? Come on, man. It don't look like she got a ring on her finger. Shoot y'all shot, my niggas. I can't. I'm married. And y'all know how Mrs. Ninja get. I'm not trying to get killed out here, my niggas. But what are your ninjas? Top 10. She looks pretty, my niggas. Shit.
I said that our culture of women have that mentality. Because there's so many other women who do not think like that. They don't think like, they don't want to be dog walked. They don't have the desire. They don't have the need. They don't need to be forced into a situation to appreciate what they have. That's not the mindset.
True.
The mindset is understand and identify the qualities of a good man and a good spouse and be his perfect balance. Mm-hmm. But not with us.
She probably ain't never been hoed. She probably ain't never been drugged through the mud by a dude. She probably never had her heart broken time and time again. That's why she can't really appreciate what she had.
The conversation is, yeah, girl, go out there, sow your royal oats. Yeah, have somebody hurt you, stomp on your heart. You know, treat you so bad so that when you get with the nice guy who wants to be a husband and is taking care of you and is, you know, in this elite space, then you'll be able to appreciate him.
Like, my ninjas, let's be honest. Let's be real here, my ninjas. If Aisha wasn't married to Steph Curry, let's say 90% of what she does now, would she have been able to do it by herself? Maybe 1/10%. She would have had the chance to do some shit like that. But really and truly, she would not. We know this. And yo, this is how ungrateful they are. Why would she go? My God, hey, you know, it's light skin ninja shit, my ninjas.
Ironically, Literally, she's married to an NBA player. What a privilege that we haven't heard no scandal with his name.
Yeah.
Are you saying that he should then start treating her like how these other basketball players are treating women and be a womanizer, and then she will understand how you know, amazing her seat is?
So get it done. I guess that's what I
Phone companies hate when you do this, but they can't do a damn thing about it. This charger makes any phone charge from 0 to 100% in 5 minutes and stops your battery.
So in the same breath that you're telling her to go out to the streets, or that she should have gotten hurt, you're also now explaining the plight of a lot of wealthy men?
You know what? No, she said that. It's kind of true. I have a homeboy. No matter what you tell this ninja, he don't believe until he experiences it for himself. So maybe Aisha Curry could be one of those individuals. She have to have some shit done to her for her to really understand where she is in life. Or maybe she's saying this shit so that Steph will go do some dumb shit so she could have a reason to divorce him and get that wealth, my ninjas. What y'all think, huh? Could be that, but we don't know.
That's interesting.
And now she's really rebelling. She want to be in the streets. She want to be desired by other men.
That's
she
what she's calling her
want
name.
to do something with another man. Because she probably never experienced that. Like, when did they get together? Like high school or something?
Hey, the worst part about it for Aisha Curry, my ninjas, is that she can't even cheat easy. Because anybody she cheat with is going to get on. Because the ninja who hit that going to be like, bro, guess who I pulled, ninja? Who you pulled, bro? Aisha Curry. I've been shooting some threes in that coochie.
That is not enough time to be out in the world and do stuff and experience stuff. Like, I don't have to experience a whole lot, but I don't think she experienced anything at all. And now she's tied down, married with kids. You can't go do your thing right now unless you go do your thing and run the risk. Like, you ain't just no Lucinda from down the block. You're Aisha Curry. If you gonna mess with anybody, trust me, we gonna know about it.
So not only she tells you need to, you know, have a 3 or 4 phase, but she's also saying like, well, girl, you can't even cheat, because if you do, you know, we gonna find out because of who your husband is. Not you shouldn't cheat. Not any of that. The conversation is around her cheating, but girl, you can't do it like anybody else because you gonna get caught. Again, these are the conversations that allow women to ruin their marriages, keep women single, women in the streets, all the above.
My ninjas, for the third time, y'all see how cute River is, my ninjas. What are y'all? Huh? This woman, the way she's talking, so with her face. Is she single? Hop in her inbox, man. Tell her the comment says ninja sent you ninjas, man. Let her come over and see what some real ninjas be doing over here. Shit.
And the reason why I say that is because you're giving this advice or your opinion on that situation, which everybody's, you know, entitled to give their own opinions, as I'm giving my opinion. However, a lot of these women can be going through rough phases within their relationships, and to be honest, the reason why they're not happy in the space that they're in is because they're not happy.
I now too have the same questions the late great DNA. What do they really want from
a nigga?
I'm casually scrolling threads, and I see Aisha Curry online on another podcast embarrassing Steph Curry for no apparent reason. Why would you sit your high yellow ass down on that couch and tell this less pigment skinned woman that the life that you have, you never wanted to marry, you never wanted kids, that this is the life that you dreamt of for yourself. So why would you say yes? Why would you lay down and let this man eat? Like, what do, bro, I'm telling you, that we never gonna know. We never, if the wealthy women who have access to whatever they would like have the means to start.
No, real shit. My ninja's like, what could you do for a woman if Steph Curry, one of the richest athletes in the world, who has no scandals, because we ain't never heard this ninja cheat. He ain't doing nothing, right? So, if his woman doesn't seem to be satisfied, right? what could y'all do? Then other women out here gonna be looking at Aisha Curry like, yeah, I need more than Steph Curry. Like, what more is man shit?
The businesses and have the lives. She can create her own life within the life that she has.
Facts.
If they don't know what they want, I'm at work right now. How am I supposed to understand and figure out what a woman wants?
We've seen it with Tia Mowry. The only person she ever been with was Corey. Then went out there to the streets and started dating other men and was trying to figure out why these other men weren't treating her like Corey did.
How hard is it in the dating world now?
Oh my God.
My last relationship when dating was, when I was, dating this person, it was beautiful. It was amazing. It was wonderful. There was courting that was, involved. And I was saying how I feel like that's no longer.
If I'm being honest with you, dental implants hadn't even crossed my mind. I thought I was going to end up with dentures,
Involved. And I was saying how I feel like that's no longer.
She's divorced my niggas. There's some crazy shit. Well, I must live on that rock. Wow. Okay.
And she was the same one having these same clips about being in her a whole phase, and then was trying to make it as a joke. Wasn't funny.
I'm not ashamed to say it. I'm in my whole phase right now.
This cannot be real.
Over everything. Where's your mind?
I have my opinion on why these things happen. I don't think it's a lack of experience on anybody's part. What I think,
social media and the hive mind of these stupid ass bitches, my niggas. They see one woman acting like if life is great and they want to emulate that lifestyle. But that girl said, to get this, I had to give up the cheeks. And they said, oh, I have one of those too. All I have to do is bust it wide open. That's easy. And then after it goes bad, that's when they said, oh, I regret I did that. I should have never done that. Yeah, right. Get out of here.
it is women following other women. Women going on social media, seeing these single women romanticizing their lives, not having babies, grabbing after the skirt tail, and thinking that your situation is a certain way and that the grass is greener on the other side. That's my opinion.
Nope, the grass is only green where you water it. Land that, my ninjas. You're welcome. I'm like a prophet in this bitch.
I think that is the root of the situation. Seeing what other people have experienced, seeing other people live their little lives, glamorizing it, and thinking it's better than
Okay.
That's my opinion.
Okay, look here. I don't think I'm gonna take 24 minutes. She's cute, but it's not like she's standing up first. Oh, my bad. Hey, River, y'all lovely. The video at this time. Watch out. But if not, I'm gonna do that right here. Yeah.
Chaos as deadly violence unfolded in tiny Leland, Mississippi.
We gotta do better.
Authorities say 6 were killed after a football game Friday night.
People were enjoying themselves. Themselves faced community should be faced with.
The victims ranging in age from 18 to 41. Across the state, another deadly shooting.
We have a medical call at Heidelberg High School. Going to be multiple people shot.
This one at a high school football game in the small town of Heidelberg, where officials say 2 people died. Mississippi's governor says one of the victims was pregnant. Police today arresting an 18-year-old suspect. Mississippi, a 3rd shooting outside of a local football game there last night. Authorities there arresting 2 individuals. While back in Leland, the search for the gunman continues. City leaders asking for help.
This is not a time to keep your mouth closed. It's a time you open your mouth. You can save a lot of lives if you open your mouth and tell us what you have seen.
The mayor.
Listen up, you're out at night. You gotta have this little beast on you. It's a keychain flashlight that blasts a crazy 6,000 lumen beam with 1 click. lighting up old buildings easy.
A lot of lives if you open your mouth and tell us what you have seen.
The mayor, working to heal a community in pain and on edge.
Please pray for Leland, Mississippi. Pray for your city, and let's pray for this country.
Jay Gray joins me now from Leland. And Jay, what do we know about the investigation tonight and the other victims there?
Yeah, and Savannah, let's start with that investigation. Within the last hour, we've seen...
Look at this country town, bro.
Crews up, inspecting what is the town's only surveillance camera here. It was traced directly where this happened, so it could provide some necessary video for this investigation as it continues. As for the other victims, we know at least 10 others were transported from this scene to area hospital.
Yo, word is that multiple different people were shot after Friday night and Saturday morning. And multiple different shootings throughout these areas where, you know, these different homecoming games and those high school shootings, basically. What you found was at least 8 people died, and in at least 2 of the situations, which they didn't identify the general population or the shooter in the third, or who it is that they thought that they was looking for, it wind up being a black man or a young black guy in both situations. In which one of the situations, the ranges of ages of people that was not that was shot was people can't even get along, and this is what a mass shooting is like in the black community. It ain't even nothing there. Like, if you're looking at this, and you're looking at the different things that was going on in the backgrounds and stuff like that, and he said that that was the only camera in the town that was active, and then they got to go and look at the footage as though it's a whole lot of different cameras that you got to source through in order. That was the only camera in the town. You got to go and look for additional insight or context from the shooting.
Alright, in honor of Halloween, we must now talk about the mummy wife. Do it now, Night? No, not now. I'll give you a signal when I want you to do it. Gotcha, boss man. Now, a mummy is a dead human or animal whose soft tissue has been preserved, preventing further decay. Egyptians viewed mummies as essential physical vessels to house the soul for the afterlife, believing that the mummified body was necessary for the spirit's survival and for a successful journey to the underworld and judgment. So, I do it now? I told you I'd give you a signal. You never told me what the signal was. Okay, I'll be like, go ahead, voice. You got that? Oh, wow. It's almost like you could have told me that beforehand. Just wait. Anyways, the horror myth of the mummy began more or less in the 19th century. And there's multiple things that seem to have led to the folklore of mummies, such as Jane Loudon's novel, The Mummy, made in 1827. This book basically established the concept of the revived mummy. And surprising enough, but not really surprising, after this in the 19th century, there were plenty of stories created about female mummies. One in particular was made in 1903 by Bram Stoker, called The Jewel of the Seven Stars. Can we please do it now? In a minute!
Old Spice Gentleman Super Hydration Body Wash. Vanilla and shea. 24/7 moisturization with vitamin B3.
Are you using all the Old Spice?
Welcome to my reaction video of moisturizing because of my results.
Can we please do it now? In a minute! Yes, long story short, the female mummies were sometimes sexualized. In comparison, the male ones were always seen as monstrous and fearsome creatures. So basically, people in the 19th century think of a dead female mummy walking towards them and just think, oh my god, awful, I want more of it. In fact, take away the scars, the rotten flesh, and just make it a sexy woman in bandages. There we go, perfect. Oh, and there was also a full movie called Blood from the Mummy's Tomb, made in 1971, with a female mummy that looked like this. God dang! For a mummy, she looked mighty hydrated. And this mummy's name is Queen Tara. And after many thousands of years, when her body is finally found, it is described as being perfectly preserved, looking no older than the day that she was killed. She's also described as having large, heavy tickle biggies. But, unfortunately, she is... I still hit, though. Now, past this point, there's many other movies about mummies, and especially female mummies, with some being more attractive than others, and some being more dangerous than others, and some being just downright scary. Alright, voice, do it now! Voice? Voice! Oh my god. Girl, slow down. Slow down. Let me get my debit card out first. Voice! What are you doing? You're supposed to show something scary. And she's a corpse for crying out loud. A sexy preserved corpse. Hey girl, hold on. No! It should have been me! I don't know this guy. Anyway, horrifying mummies! Yeah, even if the mummy's hot with no rotting flesh, you still technically could not smash. And that is because of the mummy's curse. In folklore, this curse causes bad luck, illness, or death for those disturbing the tones, and especially for those who disturb the tone to go into it. The corpse belongs in a tone anyway, to what the afterlife. So if you disrespect that tone to get your freak on, you're cooked, unless you're a cat, right? Well, Anubis is the god of mummification in Egyptian mythology, and he is a jackal, or a jackal-headed man, and jackals are in the dog family, so I'm saying, yeah, that means you too. Damn it, those damn dogs! You know what? I'm gonna call up my girl Bastet, and we're gonna handle him. Yeah, you do that, buddy. Ain't no Egyptian guy gonna tell me why I can't go into. Still a corpse. A sexy corpse that I will go into, no matter the cost. If Bastet fails, I'm calling Jesus. Really, bro? Alright, so the average cursed woman wife may be unwise to smash, but this is not me the unwise to smash. Especially if they're thick enough. If she's cursed, it's unwise in the story. I guess I'll just have to be creative with my choices then, won't I? Well, I guess you will. Guessing is for those without the power of Google. And with the power of Google, technology, books, and yes, also Rule 34, I found my first choice for this list. And she's perfect. Perfect! Behold! Don't think this. Really, bro? The mummy girl from Hotel Transylvania? The girl is barely in the movie. Hey, all you need to know that she looks good when she's on screen. And when she's on screen, she know how to swing that thing. Girl got that supernatural look. She's also described as being very pretty. She at one point was dating a fat mummy named Murray. She's good at dancing, and she was in Hotel Transylvania 1, 2, and 3. Plus, Hotel Transylvania Transformania. Even though that's true, her only real con seems to be that she's a background character, and there's not that much more information about her at all. Ooh, also some speculate that she could be Cleopatra. I mean, sure, they're both hot, but in reality, Cleopatra wasn't mummified. Try to go darker for your choice. You know, it's more evil and more despicable in their character. Oh, too easy. I have the perfect one. This one I've hated ever since my childhood. Her name is Anak Sunamon. If you don't understand what I just said, good, because I don't understand what I just said either. Either way, she's from the movie The Mummy, and The Mummy Returns. And this bitch is worse than evil. How's she worse than evil? She's toxic. She's toxic. Okay, what'd she do? Hey, wait a minute. Aren't you my inner voice? How the hell do I not know her if you know her? Her story starts a long time ago. As the Pharaoh's concubine, listen, are you? Because she was the Pharaoh's concubine, she was not allowed to be touched by any man. And you would think this would be a simple rule, but not for her. But she decided she wanted to have an affair with a man named Imhotep. And this girl sucks her almost immediately. At this point, they both stabbed the Pharaoh multiple times. And again, the walls must be very thin in this big-ass palace, so the guards immediately catch him. The toxic mummy woman then tells the bald, aging, lucky man to run and resurrect her later. She then stays behind with the guards and commits seppuku. Now, years later, Imhotep finds her body, which has been mummified, and he attempts to bring her back with the Book of the Dead, which he fails to do in the first Mummy movie. But in the second movie, The Mummy Returns, Imhotep finds a woman named Mila, and he hypnotizes her, and he uses her body, plus the Book of the Dead, to resurrect Aksuknamun. He basically put Aksuknamun's soul inside Mila's body, officially bringing her back to life. Now here's her biggest con, besides just being pure. At the end of The Mummy Returns, there's a point where Imhotep is literally hanging on for dear life over what looks like a pit leading to hell. Now just for more context, the tomb around them is coming down. Rocks are falling, the earth is literally opening up under them. It's chaotic. And eventually, he reaches his hand out, calling for her. And do you know what this bitch did? Do you know what this woman did? Aksuknamun turns tail and runs, leaving Imhotep dangling and being pulled into a pit of hell. I want you to see the heartbreak in this man's face right here. It's probably the same face Simpson made when he was portrayed by Delilah. Look at the anguish. Look at the shine in his bald head. This man was really in love. And it took him 2 movies to resurrect her fully. This man put in work for her to be standing there. And she still betrays him to run away for her own safety. This man knew in this moment that these hoes ain't loyal and just let go and let God. Tragic. Tragic. So tragic. And you know what makes it even more tragic? She still died. Not only like 5 seconds later. This woman falls into a pit of scorpions and gets suffocated and stoned to death.
In the neighborhood aspect of building business, you think big. We're making this swag shop a global brand. And that's determined never to lose the value.
And gets suffocated and stoned to death. And that's what you get. Right, my next one is even worse, Knight, because this next one is not only described as evil, but the ultimate evil. She's still bad though, and she a 5,000-plus-year-old guilt who's a freak in the worst kind of way. Her name is Princess Amanette. In her past, she was promised a throne by her father, only for him to eventually take back his promise once his newborn son was born. And in this moment, Amanette's like, if I can't be happy, no one's gonna be happy. Someone got mad, and she eventually makes a pact with the Egyptian god Set. And after this, she not only goes and murders the father, but also the stepmother and the newborn son. This girl's out here offering kids for a throne. And let me just remind you, she's still a princess. Even without the throne, she's still living good. Now, eventually in her past, she stopped and mummified. But unfortunately for the world, years later, she wakes up on a plane of all places and crashes out immediately. And her ultimate goal this time was to unleash her powers and to remake the world into the kingdom she was denied. So yeah, she a bad person. She's also immortal, supernatural strength, durability, and speed. She can drain life force from a human to heal herself, and because of her pact with Set, she has powers that allow her to manipulate dark forces. So yeah, smash! No. Well, can the brother at least get stepped on before the world's taken over? Man, you nasty. Shut up, brother, I know it. Right, next and last one is literally perfect. Her name is Mummy Girl, and she's from the series Hero Inside. Now, this series is about a cartoonist named Scott Weller, who mysteriously one day disappears, and he leaves behind 100 volumes of hero books. And these superhero comic books somehow get spread throughout San Francisco, falling into the hands of people who are called the readers. And these readers can summon the heroes from the books. So yes, Mummy Girl was technically created by Scott, but her comic book origin is that of an Egyptian mummy who is the daughter of the almighty pharaoh, and she has the power to manipulate her bandages at will. She's also adaptable and very flexible. And her only con is that she may see some people as inferior to her because in her story she's technically a princess. She also hates when her appearance is altered, like if she's scratched. But if I'm being honest, her cons don't mean And why is that? Look at this scene here. It'll tell you all you need to know.
I'm the daughter of the almighty pharaoh. I can make any door.
I like when it's done. Get deep.
For God's sakes, do it to me. Okay, that's it. Should've been me, Knight.
Not him! It's not fair!
Y'all leave your thoughts and opinions in the comments. Let us know which waifu for Halloween y'all want us to do next. Hey, you guys have a great day. Bye. Why is it never me? Video. And you're a cat in my head. Shut up!
Please tell me you're not going to eat that.
Huh? No, of course not. I'm just taking in the ambiance.
Ambiance?
Yeah. I love this place.
Said no one ever.
How dare you?
Why are we here, Mark?
Okay, two reasons. One, it's the place where I tell everyone when I'm going to be back in action, right? And two, because I'm starving. Since I just like single-handedly saved the Earth twice in the last 2 weeks.
Hey, don't.
Can you believe people used to complain that I could never win a fight?
What people?
You know.
I really don't. What was that?
My fans.
Your what?
My fans. Fans, okay?
What fans?
But they sure don't say that anymore. Because first, I sent all those other me's packing. Get out of here, you handsome guys, I said. And then when they didn't leave, I threw their thick, muscly buns right off my planet.
I'm pretty sure everyone else did that. There were like 30 of us out there.
And then I beat up Angstrom. Find a dimension where you're not a loser, I said, except that doesn't exist.
I really don't think you said that.
And then, this is the big one. This guy, this guy kicked Conquest's ass. You remember that? Boom.
But did you? I mean, did you?
Yeah. I mean, also turns out he was just very lonely. That was like, that like factored in a little.
He was missing all his skin, Mark. I wonder how that happened.
You don't fight with your skinny. Come on.
Well, while you've been busy taking all the credit, some of us have been busy getting ready for what's next.
Busy doing what?
Well, busy writing, designing, storyboarding, voice acting,
That's my thing. Only I get to handle those.
Like you handled Conquest?
He was very strong for an old man.
Okay then, finish it off.
Finish off what?
Whatever this is that we're doing. This is my first time. I can't believe you let Alan and Cecil do this before me.
Right, okay, okay, do the card. Now. Do the card now!
Is it supposed to be blank?
This kind of stuff, it's not really... Eve, can you... Maybe you could...
You're so lucky we're dating now.
Hey, could you make me the burger too, please? Extra cheese with the pickles. Maybe one pickle.
You know, that Mohawk version of you is looking better and better.
Wow, look at that. Check out the date. It's so soon. Get those Where Season 5 William memes ready. Or don't, actually. I mean, enough is enough, am I right? Seriously, though, get excited. Season 4 is nuts.
Hey, maybe you win another fight.
Yeah, or all of them. Maybe I win all the fights.
Let's fuel up. Put some windshield washer fluid in this thing. Get a little breakfast going. Oh my goodness. Oh, here we go. Here we go. Alrighty. Alrighty. Bagel. Buttered bagel. Talking to myself early in the morning. Ozarks in Missouri. While everybody's yawning. Talking to myself. Life is so good. Okay. A little sausage, everything bagel. A little bit of Kerrygold pure Irish butter. Let's do it. Let's go. Spread the butter on the bagel. There we go. Yeah. Yeah. That's good stuff. That's good stuff right there. That Kerrygold spread is kind of good. Yes, it does. Yes, it does.
cracking. Go. Everything sorted. Wait. Let's get to Illinois. Pick up this, whatever this is.
Not just covered, you're cared for.
Out here, there's always time to pull over for pizza. Hot, cheesy, hand-prepped, and ready when you need it. Get 2 slices and a Pepsi for just $8. Only at Highland Blind J. See you out here.
All right, what's going on, you guys? Nick here with Nick Strength and Power in the finals for the 2025 Mr. Olympia Classic Physique category. Just
What is this? Doofus, someone parked in a parking spot. What are you doing? It has a crest on the hood. Is that a bird? Maybe a bird. Do something about it. Don't do me like this.
You hearing that?
We talked about this. We have very strict rules about police here. You're disrespecting the kingdom of broken BMWs.
Beautiful, Dave. Quick that. Next to my stallion. 476 horsepower.
Right, I found a project that's not a BMW, and it's a Mercedes E55 AMG Touring Estate, if you will. So this is the W211 chassis, or maybe S211 if it's a Touring. I'm not so sure about that. It's on Copart in Mannheim, which is about an hour and a half away from Frankfurt. And of course, I didn't go to see it because I don't have that kind of time. But this car looks very cool and very interesting to me. Supercharged V8, 476 horsepower in a wagon. Come on, that is just cool. This is the damage that it has. The fender, door, the side skirt. That's not too bad. All that can be easily replaced by a bit of damage there. And I saw the rust on the tailgate in the back as well. Yeah, you can see it here. That part is a bit of rust. Anyway, the price started at 10,000 euro, which is already kind of high-ish. I put one bit in just to see if my account works, and it does. But equivalent examples right now advertised online. So here's the black one, 14,500. That's a negotiable price. This one, I believe, the guy wants 18, and then this one just sold for 14 bucks. But yeah. So I'm thinking for this one, given that it's 4-power, that it's a US import as well, which is kind of strange, but that's what it says. I'm gonna go as high as 13K. Not too much as well, because on top of this price, you also have some other crap, and it's gonna add up to another 1,000 euros. This is a motor rare, and I would love to work on a proper AMG car. I think there's shut up. Look at that. So that's what's normally on Copart in Germany, like boring stuff like this. I think this is the only interesting car in today's auction. Oh, look at that! Sorry, there's a charger. Why are you so loud? Oh wow. Holy crap. You know what? 13K is actually, it would be too much, because that would be around 14,000 with fees and everything. You can buy an equivalent example with no body damage. You know, you can buy cars. Also, look at Project Frankfurt, how pretty it is. That's Mont Saint-Michel in France. It's coming up next. Not interesting. It's in the road. Ooh, here we go. Bit. Latvia, come on! And it's gonna wait until the last minute. Wait. What? I just bought an AMG. I am a Mercedes owner now. I'm gonna go right to the one. 11,100 euros. Come on! For an AMG E55? Bruce! Ems? Ems? I bought something. I bought a car. Are you happy? Yeah, there.
If you live in a Missouri zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years, listen carefully. I was an insurance agent for 30 years, and what I'm about to tell you will save you up to 80% on your auto insurance. Here's what the
car. Are you happy? Yeah, there. You heard it. What if it comes in the engine's book? Although it does say run and drive. Look at that! Rust! That's pretty rusty. So is that, and so is that. Rust there. Fantastic! We'll have rust. A bit of a scrapey scrape here. I took the clear coat off. This was scraped. It's actually a good ding dong there. This one as well. Look at those brakes. AMG. Headlights have faded. You can polish that, and there's the. Alright, let's hear that start. Runs and drives. Oh, that's a good sound. Oh, you can hear the supercharger over there. But here we are. S211 E55 AMG. Supercharged Mercedes and I01. It smells like a used car. Whoa. The winning bid was, as you saw, 11,100 euros. With some fees and nonsense, it came to around 12,000. And then there was Mehrwertsteuer, VAT on top of that. So all in around 14 grand. But that tax, I'm gonna get that back because I have a company. So 12 grand is what this car cost me. Hi. Yeah. Danke. Vielen Dank. Oh, I'm excited. I'm excited. Let's do a quick walk around and see what's what. Corporate listing said that this is a US import. And if you look here, it was registered in Wiesbaden, which is 30-ish minutes away from Frankfurt, and there's a US military base in the area, so it's quite possible that someone from the US brought it over and used it as a normal everyday daily car. So the headlights, a little bit yellow, but this can be polished out. Stone chips, that many. That looks quite good. There's one right over there. That headlight needs polishing as well. A bit of a scrapey scrapers in there. Winter tires. I do quite like the wheels. This one's good actually, not curved out. Winter wheels are good. 2022. So this is the big damage. It actually looks worse in person than in the pictures. Surprise. So my thinking is, and I forgot my little device, is to measure the paint and see if it's original. If yes, this looks like a very common color. So if I can find used original paint, fender and the door and the side skirt, fix it like that, and I don't have to do any paint work. Mirror needs to be redone as well. This one, this will be paint is there, so this is hanging a little bit there. The rear wheel is in good condition, not curved up. Brakes are good, and pads are good. How about front? Look at that caliper. Man, AMG was on point with their braking. Yeah, brakes are good all around. This is awesome. And this wasn't clearly visible on the pictures. That's cool. Rust there and there. What are the chances that I find a rust-free tailgate? I would say pretty slim in Germany, but maybe it's good somewhere where it's dry. This side is quite good, no damage. This wheel is good. This wheel is going to be very easy to refurbish because it's a CNC, so they can just fix the attach here. This is some clips. This one's not good. Look at that. Look at that BMW. There's a drain. So this area won't rust. That's how you do that. E39, I talked to you. Oh, that's busted. So the bumper is missing there. Only one wheel is curved. That one over there. And we can definitely fix that. We don't need to refurbish all four wheels. They just need to be clean. The interior looks in decent shape. A little bit dirty, but overall in nice shape. Yeah, you can see some dirt there. A bit of wear here, but nothing. That's just like nothing for the kilometers. 206,000 kilometers. I love that cluster. I really like this cluster. 5-speed Funkomatic. How do you open it, sir? I mean, the interior is in really nice shape. I gotta say, headline is beautiful.
But I mean, the leather, this is gonna clean up beautifully. And the color combo is quite nice. Most of these are black, which I didn't want. I really wanted the silver one. Yeah, rear seats. Nice. How's Four zone? Four zone. I don't know if that's a rare option on an E55, but look at this. Cutouts for your knees. You Mercedes guys are probably, whatever. But this is new territory for me. Say hello to Project Rally. Is it automatic? Nope. That's good. Prefer it that way. Shocks are good. Look at this trunk space, man. That is massive. I'd say that's definitely bigger than E39. So where is this rust coming from? So that edge there. Funnily enough, E39 has the same problem. Twirling. Oh, and the seat goes the front. Once you do that. Does it not go down all the way? Look at that down moves as well. So the floor is not flat all the way, but that is tremendous amount of space in this car. I spotted this now. This was painted here. Yeah, seat was painted there. Silver. So this border here was painted for sure. Yes, painted as well. So this is not original paint on this, not this bit here, which means since the color is the same, probably the entire side was painted. See that there? That's a tape line, which means that this door is not original color. So my idea of sourcing original color doors is not going to work because it's not going to match with the reprint on this car. There is no way. So we might need to do a bit of paint work on this car. In any case, the doors and the fender need to be replaced. But this one does not have the shopping chute like the E39 Touring, for example.
If I'm being honest with you, dental implants hadn't even crossed my mind. I thought I was going to end up with dentures, you know? Mom had dentures, grandmother had dentures, my father had dentures, so I thought it was okay.
This one does not have the shopping chute like the E39 Touring, for example. There it is! 4.4 liter supercharged M113K engine, 476 horsepower and 700 Newton meters of torque. It is a monster, this engine. The emblem is missing, and who made this engine? Michael Yahoo? I can't read that. That's upside down. We don't like that. Let's fix that immediately. Bit of condensation in the cap, but that's not concerning at all because the car hasn't been driven properly in God knows how long because it's been sitting on the auction lot. Look at that! Liquid moly oil change. Done at 205,000 kilometers. And he used, well, it didn't. Oh, plus Getriebe. So they service the transmission as well. That's nice. And they knew their stuff using liquid moly. Goodness. And this was done 19th of March 25. So the car wasn't sitting on the auction lot for God knows how long. Is this factory? That little knob to adjust suspension? Something tells me 9. Maybe yes. I don't know. I'll have to look into that. In case you can't tell, this is my very first Mercedes, so I don't know anything about that. Look at that belt mounting. Ooh, that looks like a leaky valve cover. And the famous oil plugs, I think it's 2 spark plugs per cylinder, which is amusing. These engines, I mean, I don't know anything about them, but I do know what people say, and that's that these engines are really robust, really strong, and not much goes wrong with them, which is one of the reasons why I wanted this power plant. I want to experience Mercedes. I want to experience a proper AMG. My question is, who is the right competitor for W or S to 11? Is it E39 M5 or E60 M5? Because E55 AMG came out in 2003, and that's when the production for the E39 M5 ended. And then the E60 M5 came out in 2005. But I'm really curious to see how
what
this
up?
drives. Yeah, I'm curious now.
What up,
Is
UK
it
in the
stock
house?
suspension
What up,
or
baby?
not? It does look like coilovers. I think
Go
they
for
have.
a ride, go make some money today.
Don't they? It's possible the Persona deleted that. You know what? Let's go for a cheeky drive because there's a private road on the left over there. Made in Taiwan. What the f? Is this a fake fender? Look here. It says made in Taiwan. That's not an original part, is it? The bolts have been messed with, so this is not an original fender. That's not original paint. You can see that's shipping there and there. So the front bumper has been painted, and then this one doesn't say made in Taiwan. These bolts look, nope, they've been messed with as well. That's overall right there. So this car was painted heavily, but that sounds pretty smooth. It has the soft leather sounds good. The engine sounds healthy. And there are no lights on the dash complaining about anything other than the battery. Just say it was the workshop. I am the workshop. Let's go for a quick spin down the street. Private road. Seats are super comfortable, man. Really nice. Suspension is freaking awesome. This is terrible over here. Super comfortable. AC is working wonderfully. That was like barely touching the throttle at its side. I mean, so far I don't see any major issues with this car. Hey now. Alright, into the new dojo you go. Are the parking sensors working? I think not. No, yes. The door is still too small. And this car is way too big. It gives very comfortable vibes, this car. I like. Now this is a sight to behold. E55 AMG squeezing between two very special E39s. Right, I'm gonna call the Mercedes-Benz hotline. Good evening, Chicago.
Hello. Welcome to the Street Quarters.
This is a bit weird. You're working on a BMW and I'm working on that.
And we both have blue shirts.
Yeah, something is up here, huh?
It's really weird, but congrats and welcome to the E55 family.
Thank you very much. I heard you know a thing or 15 about them, so I thought I'd pick your brain. Look at it!
Beautiful.
2006 E55, and don't mind that, it's just a small dent. That'll buff out.
Yeah, that's okay. I like it. No sunroof?
No sunroof, yes.
Rare? 55 with no sunroof.
It's good. I hate sunroofs.
That's insane. I've never seen that before. Wow. You guys don't like the sun out there, apparently.
We do, but you know, when I'm doing 300 on the Autobahn, I don't want wind noise.
I hear you.
Yeah.
That's awesome, man. What's going on with it?
I have no clue. I just literally pulled it into the shop and I'm about to lift it up in the air, and I'm kind of scared of this. See that there?
Oh, yeah.
And that there? And there?
Okay.
And then a little bit there. So,
no rust.
Are they prone to rust or?
No, not really. No, the 211 chassis was pretty good, especially coming after the 210, which I mean those things would rot out like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Mercedes worked some magic for the 211, and they were not prone to rust in that era. Especially Mercedes had a lot of rust issues, but not specifically on the 211. Not saying they can't rust, obviously, but
it's good.
They were one of the better ones of that time. So hopefully it's just the hatch.
And I heard that this engine is very robust, huh?
It's the best. It's the best, especially compared to BMW and Audi at the same time. It's very. I know, but you know what those take.
Yeah, I do. Yeah. So this car had originally. I wish it had that because I really wanted to see how that feels.
You know, I think I have a smaller supercharger pulley laying around. Just saying.
Do you now?
This is going to be a whole new world for you. Like,
yeah.
You can have reliably, you can have 500 wheel horsepower on those and not ever do rod bearings. No rod bearings.
That's unusual for me. How about oil leaks?
Like, they're not an issue. Nothing. They're all, it's a great engine.
Do they leak oil?
No, I mean, you might from sealer valve cover gaskets. Yeah, that's it. I mean, like, talking real engine components, like timing components, don't worry about them. They're going to be fine. There's no variable valve timing. There's no guide issues. There's no chain issues. There's no issues.
Nothing.
There's no piston issues. There's nothing. They're the best.
So Mercedes figured it out while BMW was struggling with pretty much everything. The only thing that I'm noticing from the top, the valve cover is leaking, and that's about it. Nothing else.
Yeah, that's the breather chamber. It's part of the PCB system, but it's a piece of valve cover that you remove separately, but it's sealed with RTV.
Stop buying generic Viagra if you're over 60. You qualify for 9 tablets of 100 milligram generic.
But it's sealed with RTV.
Yeah.
So no parts. You just have to clean it really well, put that back together. It should be good. They did have issues early on with the supercharger fully coming apart, but you'll see that or hear it. But as far as the actual engine, it's great. Awesome. It's so easy to mod. It's crazy.
How much power are you running on yours? I know you have a black one.
Yeah, well, mine has a Whipple supercharger on it now, so it's a little different. you know, so it's like 700 horsepower or something,
That's
which is pretty much it.
ridiculous.
That's like the limit of the engine. I mean, the rod's too heavy limit, but yeah, if you go full bolt-on with the stock supercharger, you know, you could easily be at like 550 wheel reliably, you know, and just drive the car and enjoy it.
I'm actually really excited to drive it on the other ones.
Man, I can't wait to hear about that. One of the best overall mods, the mod I tell everybody to do first, is long tube headers. You'll actually see a reduction in about like 2 psi of boost, so it's going to be safer. It'll gain like 40 wheel horsepower. It's the best mod, hands down, long tube headers.
Nice. All right, I'm gonna get it up in the air and see what's lurking underneath, and then I'm probably gonna pick your brain a bit later to see what else I need to do. But thank you for this. This was.
We're switching.
Yeah, it's ridiculous. And you're working on diesel. Yeah, very common, but I hate them. You will never see one in my shop. They're hateful things. Oh, you did? Nice job. Good one. Awesome.
Good luck with the E55. Keep me posted. Send me pictures.
Thank you. Will do. Thanks, Alex. Talk to you soon. Are you telling me I'm not gonna have anything to do on this car? It appears that we're not gonna dig deep into this engine, which is a bit of a change for me, I must say. As long as it's not rusty underneath, I'll be happy. Alright, this is going to be the very first car that's gonna go up on this Nussbaum lift. Let's first check the suspension. Let's see. Play here. That ball joint looks fairly fresh, so maybe that control arm was recently replaced. See the coilover in there. Brakes. Plenty of meat left on the pads. Good. Yeah. Good as well. Absolutely no play in the suspension whatsoever. Does it have... Here, let's leave this now. Do you hear that? That's right. Neither do I. No more clack, 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 spindle lift. It's not hydraulic. Oh. Oh, no. An oily... Coming from BMW, they never leak oil. They are sealed tighter than my ex-landlord's wallet. I'm kidding, of course. I feel right at home. I'd actually feel quite uncomfortable if this car was leak-free. So let's do a tour of Mercedes land. You can see down the tray is quite wet, and we have the dribble. I think this car hit something on it. You can see the scrape there. That looks fairly fresh. It's still not rustic. Probably the accident. It's a bit broken there. That's a bit kaput. And then this. Something went underneath of this car, didn't it? Oh, look at that. Plastic broken there as well. So we'll need the side plastic on both sides. Let's check out the rear. Everything looks nice here. You know what I'm not seeing? The rusty chassis. This all looks quite good. Bit of surface rust here and there, but it's quite normal. It isn't a car that was driven in Germany, but look at that. That's fresh as well. So something definitely went underneath of this car. Coilovers in the back as well. Sway bar links look good. More scrapers in here. The flex joint actually good because they're not cracked. You can pick your layers to the wrap up there. I'll show you. So that's a bit quick. Itself, you don't need coilovers, no labels or anything. Here, nope. Okay, let's get the cover off. Oh, that's steel. Hey now. Oh. What? I think that snapped. Oh, that's great. Come on, you use non-original poster. Whoa, what in the schnitzel? Nope, we need to chop off this bolt. One thing I'll never understand is how people use the grinder without hearing protection. This thing is so freaking loud. Off to a good start. Where were we? Wow, this thing is really heavy. Aha! There it is. Frozen here. Inside of this dead clip. Wowza. This one's really oily. Ah, so this is maybe what Alex was talking about, rear main seal. That would be a fun one. Okay, let's take a closer look. I think chasing oil leaks on this car is going to be the main thing. You see smoke there, but also if you look above, that's going to be the valve cover or the CCD that Alex was talking about earlier. But lower down, you can see some fresh RTE. I think that's fancy seal. Good stuff. Currently, these Mercedes is going to use gaskets to use RTE. And then on this side, that all looks quite good. From above, it's fairly dry. Here it's well dry, but this is going to be the main spot, and this could very well be the very main seal. So yeah, let's get the inspection covers off, and then see if I can see something inside the endoscope.
You might be missing out on some Medicare Advantage benefits. Have you checked lately? Sorting through Medicare plans can be confusing. For example, have you ever heard the term dual eligible? Dual eligible means you qualify for both Medicare and Medicaid.
And then see if I can see something inside the endoscope. In you go. Oh, looks pretty over there. If we were to judge by this string here, it's going to be the remaining seal. Right, let's forget about the oil leak for a second. I'm going to go all around the car one more time and just look over things. Right, so here's what I found. We have a split in the tie rod ball joint bolt, so that's a nice thing to fit. We'll probably do that there. And then this tension strap for thrust arms in the BMW world, they were replaced not long ago, so refresh issue. But everything else, like all the suspension components, look great. No cracks, no play, nothing. Sway bar links also good. Still have no idea what kind of brand these coilovers are. Then if we go further down the road, everything's clean. The chassis is actually in really good condition. There is no rusting or exhaust. You know, a little bit rusty, but it's not too bad. And then in the back, this output shaft CV boot, that one is split open, and you can see it's slinging grease everywhere. So we need to address that. The one on this side is good, but it's also starting to look a bit crispy, so probably smart to do them in pair as well. And then coilovers in the back as well. I have no idea what kind of shock setup this is. It's probably cool, but you can see there are lines here. Has been deleted, but look at the chassis here. It's clean. The back as well. No rough. So that was the number one thing that I was afraid of. It's going to be a rough bucket thing. But it's not. It's actually quite good condition. So let's go up top in the engine bay. Just confirm the ball cover and see how bad it is. Because that will be our first stop, fixing the leaks from above. And you can see here the leak is pretty vigorous. It's just not gripping on the ground. It's collecting the tread, I guess. And then as you drive, it's spraying everywhere. Damn, this thing is smooth. It's lift. Ridiculous. Let's see if I can figure out that famous Mercedes service position. I think yes. Look at that. Oh, nice. Quite like that. Look at that. That is awesome. That is definitely something BMW should do. I mean, you can do it on an E39, for example. You just need an extra bolt to pop it in there. But this already has the mechanism for it. Spot on, Mercedes. Spot on. All right, now we're gonna snoop around the engine like Snoop Dogg. Just get these covers off. Confirm the leak from the valve cover. It's just one cover. This is part of the box. This side is actually pretty dry. This side of the valve cover is leaking pretty badly, so I guess we'll do that first. That's okay. That's a little bit crazy. Oh my God! Look at that air filter. Look at this. That hasn't been changed in a while. Oh my Lord! So yeah, I think we're gonna add service, a nice little service. Okay, I actually have a plan. Let me go get a whiteboard. Okay, I was kidding. I don't have a whiteboard, but I do have a piece of wood, which is a step above using cardboard to write on. So we're gonna do this project a bit differently. Let's put it like that. I'm gonna write everything that needs doing on this car, everything that we need to fix, and then we're gonna go through the entire list one by one until this car is fixed. So let's write it out. E50 replace left door fender. I'm gonna write all this off camera and then we're gonna go through it. Here's the list. E55 AMG. That's this car. First item on the list, replace left door and left fender. Ball cover leak, the big oil leak underneath, tie rods, output shafts, big service, all of the fluids, all of the filters. Polish headlights, hood insulation that's falling apart, summer wheels. Currently our winter wheels, we also need summer wheels. Rear hatch, that rust. Then we have steering wheel leather, that's worn, that needs to be done. Windshield, fortunately found a big chip in the center of your field vision that will not pass tooth inspection, so we need to replace that. Left side skirt, E55 AMG specific. If anyone has that for sale, it doesn't have to be color. We can read that. It's not a big deal. And painting. We'll probably need to do a bit of painting here and there, like the mirror caps, paint chipping. We need to do that, and then potentially or probably blend the paint here and there because we're going to replace some panels. Detailing. So clean the interior, detail the exterior, and then detail the engine bay. Kind of, you know, we'll do that last. And then I just added left intake duct that's a bit kaput. And yeah, we'll work through this list, and then as we work on the car, I'll add more stuff if we find anything else. But for now, this is a nice lift and list, not a lift, list that we need to go through, and then this car is going to be ready to hit the road and pass tooth inspection. I think in this episode, let's start with item number 1. Left door, left door.
I've bought a door in the same car that doesn't have a massive dent and it's overall in good shape. And a box that contains a fender inside. The fender was actually more expensive than the door, so paid I think $70 for the door and $150 for the fender. 17 hours later, the fender is unpacked. Appears to be an original color. Good condition. See, these two match color. It's actually, and this is original color as well. Yeah.
Throw away your reading glasses, computer glasses, and yes, even your sunglasses. This is the last pair of glasses you'll ever need. Introducing the revolutionary autofocus glasses.
See, these two match color. It's actually pretty damn good. And this is original color as well. Yeah. These are shared across all 211 models, so this was not that difficult or expensive to find. You can only find the rear hatch, and we'll be complete. Okay, let's remove the old parts and install the new ones. Let's get the door off first. There's a screw here. Just watch this. That's how you remove the strip. You just slide it back. That's a very elegant design. So I'm going to transfer this one to the new door. Now I'm going to remove the door panel. First, the key point here. Then remove this cover here. And no clips with harm. Remove this cover. Ooh, floor mats. Add that to the list. There's a D30 here. Another cover next to the grab handle. Pull that out. And 2 more screws. Speaker. The handle for now. And now we can break some clips. This is very, very similar to the 39, I must say. Door handle. Clip all the cables. And that's it. Very nicely engineered and very easy to remove. Clips? Ooh, they're the same ones as B&W. Well, more or less. We'll remove the door module. You just squeeze and then pull. Yes, squeeze. Like this. Just pull it up. Next, the mirror. Where are the screws? I was looking for the screws at the inside, but no. First we gotta remove the glass, so tilt it downwards, and then there's a clip here. There it is. Now we have the cable for the heating. That's it. So this is the clip here. Just need to lift it over. And they didn't remove this mirror when they painted that cap. There's overspray on the glass. Right, there is a clip here that you need to press in with the screwdriver, and then slide out the car maybe? No? You know what? I can access the screws here. I don't need to mess with that yet. This one screw, another one on the bottom. And then one on here. But the cap will have to come off get it painted eventually, but for now we can just remove the mirror like this. Next, we gotta remove the exterior door handle and the lock cylinder. So pull this rubber trim and the screw right over there. Okay. Yeah. Connector door didn't connect. Where's the connector, man? Someone didn't connect. Now that's bizarre. Now this. This. Just pull it out, huh? Yes? No? Oh, aren't you supposed to slide out? That's what the man on YouTube said! He said, pull, red arrow. Pull, blue arrow. Well, it's not really working out, is it? Oh yeah, there it is. It's out. Right. I think that's all we need for this door. Oh right, we need the upper trim. We need this trim piece and this trim piece. Thinking of BMW, this should just pull straight on. Now this trim, pull the rubber back, there's the screw here. And here. Okay, the window is down. There's... Yes. Okay, because this door is gonna get trashed, I'm gonna remove everything from it and just, have stuff as spares. Vapor barrier. Okay, that's the vapor barrier off. So let's get the speaker out, window, door liner, everything. Wow, is that it? Just twisted. Let's raise the glass a little bit. Now we can get the screws here that hold glass in. We should be able to just pull it out. There's the glass out. That's the window motor out. Now you gotta drill out the rivets and then move the regulator. Okay, so the rivets drilled out. Save that. So this one slides out as well. Seal.
Discover a journey where no two moments are like the next, where every detail is
bracket as well, and that's one Mercedes door plugged in. Now should we pull the right here? There it is. Just pull the wires through. Well, that's easy. Door stop. We're not gonna mess with this bracket here. Instead, we're gonna lift the door out with these hinges. Now it should be as simple as lifting the door out. And it's very, very simple. I must say. Next, the fender. We have one 10mm bolt here. Then there are two bolts on the bottom here behind the slide skirt. So we don't put that. Slide skirt is put that in. See that? Up to that. It's ready. Now we're going to jack up the car and get the front wheel off so we can pull the fender liner, enter two jack lines. And some fender bumper. Bracket there, popped out, and now, yeah, fender is free. And then finally, and the fender should come off. There it is, one broke. And the metal in here is perfect. Didn't touch the structure whatsoever. A bit of cleaning. Replacement fender going in. going to loosely start the bolts. And first we're going to install the door and then line up everything. Here's to see if the color will match even a little bit. That's the bolts on the top started. Two on the bottom. Here. And then I'm going to get the bracket into place. I think it's missing another bolt here in the front, not a screw. The wheel can go back on. And out the door. Should be able to do this all by myself. Oh, look at that. There it is. Scenic with the cables through. So far this has been wonderfully easy. Okay, let's see how the door lines up. If I can shut it. The fender needs to go more towards the front. Let's try it now. And the color is completely off. Yep. Not even close. But that's fine. The door lines up beautifully out of the box. All of the lines and gaps are here. Fender not so much, so we're gonna have to tweak that a little bit. That's good, man. This gap is quite nice. So let's start loading it. Bloody side screw. Ah. That's fine for now. Let's see how the hood lines up. Pretty decent, I would say. Maybe a bit more this way. That looks pretty decent now. The right fender now fits horrendously bad because it's a replica, so I'll need to find the original fender and put it on that side as well. I'm missing one screw here which goes from inside of the bumper to close this gap. I'll do that later once the car is on the lift. Alright, let's button up the door. That's actually the original color. From this point, it's just installing the old parts into the new door, and I think we'll need to replace the glass. The glass in this car has like a blue tint to it from the factory. This one was green. This one is the vapor barrier. Yeah, the glass is clear. This one is blue, so we need to get the glass out. You see the difference there? Green, blue. So far, everything on this car has been brilliantly engineered and very original speaker going back in. Like so. And now I need to refresh the butil. Got fresh butyl here. Press it in. Well, that's cool. Now I'm just going to put everything back together. That should be it. Oh, man, everything goes back together. And Bob's your aunt. That's it. Everything put back together. I gotta admit something. I just replaced the doors of the E39, the panels, and all that stuff. This was easier. Not a ton easier, but easier and more elegantly engineered. Everything goes back together beautifully. I mean, it does on BMW as well, but this is just really nice and refreshing to see. Let's go out in daylight and see how big of a difference in color we have now.
This charger actually repairs your phone while charging, and everyone thinks it's too good to be true. Nobody believed me at first, but now everybody wants one. My friends roasted me for buying a fast charger online. They said I got scammed, but then I showed them what it could do. Now they're all
in the color we have now. Dang it! We have another Project Raleigh in our hands. It does not match. Not even close. If the rest of the car was original paint, this would actually match up pretty well. For example, the trims on the bottom of the doors, that hasn't been painted, and you can see that's a perfect match. And also these two panels from completely different cars, and they're pretty closely matching. It's just the rest of the car has been painted, and this has more metallic flake in it. It's also a bit darker. It has more like yellowish tint in it, so it just does not match. So this entire side of the car will most likely have to be painted because of this as well. Scrapes here, and then it'll look all nice. But also, if you look at the gaps and alignment on this side, everything looks nice. Here, not so much. I mean, look at this gap, that's horrendous. And also here, that line between the door and the fender, not good at all. We're gonna have to replace that replica fender as well. But for now, this is 57 shades of gray, and this will be 56 shades of silver. At least it doesn't have massive dents anymore. So we can take off one item off the list. We'll crack on with the repairs in the next episode, but so far, I like it. I like it a lot. It's really nice to work on. Also, 12,000 euro for this thing. Seemingly a good deal. I mean, it's...
Government shut down. How the government shut down, but Taco Bell open 24 hours? What have they figured out that Capitol Hill hasn't? Congress, the only job where, like, if they can't come to an agreement, vacation time. I don't get that. Pass a bill. I don't like the bill. Change it. No. Spring break? Like, Waffle House figured it out. Why can't y'all? I ain't got no Charlie Kirk jokes. I don't, man. I ain't got enough followers to lose something. I can't die on a hill. I gotta go home to my mama. Not gonna do it. I'm getting older. I'm getting over some
Philip,
of these
what's up?
phrases.
I hope you're having a great day too. It's a beautiful day out here.
Right?
Ain't no
For those
reason
who don't
not
know,
to
it's
have
like
a great day.
if I'm chilling with a homie and I say something that could sound somewhat homosexual, they hit you with a pause. First of all, I'm a grown-ass man. Don't interrupt me. Who you think you are? I was talking about golf the other day. I was like, yeah, it's a par 5. I don't want to lose no more strokes. Let me grab the wood. The homie was like, pause. Nigga, it's golf. I wasn't naked. My dick wasn't out. I'm trying to make a par. I was talking to a comedian homie the other day. I had a heckler. I was like, yeah, I had a heckler, so I have to get in his space and let him have it. He was like, pause. I was like, yeah, it's a comedy club, not a Diddy party. Nobody came, there was no oils. Talking about verbal clapbacks. Oh. To me, there's nothing gayer than you stopping me mid-conversation because you had the gay thought. I was talking about golf, a gay porn popped in your head, and now I'm in the wrong. Now I gotta do the mannequin challenge. I don't have no muscle in my brain that's stopping and frisking every thought for homosexuality. If you got that muscle, bruh, just be gay. Just come out the closet. Don't say pause. Say what you really want to say. Stop right there. Stop. Don't go any further. Let's sit in it. I know what you meant, but I know what I feel. Oh my God. Thank you for that blessing. Ooh. Oh my goodness. And what am I supposed to do when I pause? Just reflect? Just reflect on pussy? Dick vagina. Dick vagina. Hey, I'm back, bro. Thank you. Thank you for that, man. First I'm so gay had you not paused me, man. That's what friends are for, bro. Man. I'm delivered. You know, like...
My Dodge Viper is dead. It's stuck here in the middle of a cow pasture, and after going through pretty much every single one of its systems, I still can't figure out why. And when I first got the car, it started right up with a jump, and it drove just fine, and even though it had a handful of other issues, it never failed to fire over. And after fixing its cooling system and just doing a general refresh of some ancient parts, I drove this car around for a few days straight, and everything always worked perfect until now. So we were actually moving this car to take pictures of it for the auction, and it drove right to spot. It stopped, and then ever since it's cranked, but it doesn't start. Obviously, we've done all the basics, things like checking the fuel level, which is low, So we added more fuel to it, and that didn't start it. We checked battery voltage, obviously. That didn't change its outcome. And well, let me just show you. It cranks strong, sounds good, but it doesn't want to start at all. And I don't want to just keep firing it in case it is dumping fuel in the cylinders. That's one of the mysteries we got here, and I'll show you that in a second. Now, when I did the initial work on this car, I noticed a ton of original parts. This car's over 20 years old at this point, and so I like to think, like, what's the most common thing that would fail? You've heard it before, a car needs air, it needs fuel, it needs spark, and it needs power to run. Those are your main ones. It also needs compression, it needs timing, but start real simple. And the most simple thing that I could think of when we know there's fuel in the fuel tank is just to see if it will run off of starting fluid. I'm going to open the throttle body blade here. Sometimes I wonder why I choose car problems that last years on end when I could just choose truffle butter filet mignon that only takes a couple minutes to prepare, because Factor makes really good food really easy. These fresh, not frozen meals were delivered straight to my door, and they even came along with breakfast, which you can get right now free for a year. These are so tasty. They've got everything you want with your morning eggs, a little bit of smoked bacon, some cheddar cheese, and they are perfect when you're on the go. And while I might not have the best track record when it comes to finishing my car projects, I have a 100% completion rate when it comes to finishing my Factor meals. I love this one so much. It was the 4-cheese tortellini, Italian sausage, pizza Iola. And since Factor recently doubled the size of their menu, the variety is amazing. There's truly something out there for everyone, even if you're on a specific diet. Today for lunch, I've got surf and turf, along with these fresh vegetables. I mean, it's so darn good, and it beats the heck out of going to the fast food restaurant. And it's easy. All you have to do is hit that link in the description box and make sure you use code SAMCRACKF. That's going to get you 50% off your first box and free breakfast for a year over at Factor. Hit that link in the description box. Make sure you use that code SAMCRACKF to get 50% off your first box and free breakfast for a year over at Factor. And just shoot a smidgen in. Let's see what happens now. Look at that. Okay. So, the fact that it starts and runs for a second off of starting fluid tells us we have a fuel system issue. My guess at this point is that we just have an old failed fuel pump. I love these old cars that have these Schrader valves. Still, most of the modern cars, they've gotten rid of this. But this is a surefire way to test for fuel pressure, and you can see already when I'm twisting it on. You see that? There's gas that's coming out of that Schrader valve, which is a good sign that there is fuel pressure here. If our fuel pumps have failed, you turn the key on to the car, basically that would be dry. It'd be one of the reasons why the car's not running, because it's just not getting any gas. You can see our gauge is all the way at the bottom. It's at 0. When we put the key in and just turn it to bring power on, it jumped. Look at that. It jumped beautifully too. Right to 60 PSI. Now, that's a good sign that our fuel pumps are working, which would make this really weird. And when we crank it, if we see it kind of fluttering or die down and go back to 0, that's when we know we're going to have the fuel pumps. But if it stays consistently up in that higher range, our problem is not the fuel pump. So here we go, 3, 2, 1. No, it's getting higher. So the fuel pumps are not the issue. I've had an instance where the car will start on starting fluid, but there's good pressure to the rail. So the fact that we have good fuel pressure means that the fuel is making its way to the front of the car, to the engine where we need it, but it's not making its way into the cylinder, which would mean we have an injector issue. There's not a chance that all 10 injectors just failed overnight, which to me then potentially takes the focus away from fuel and moves it over to electronics. Has something failed on the engine computer that's not allowing the injectors to fire? Or potentially, how does the immobilizer work on this car, which I don't even think there is one. Look, if you look at the keys, there's no alarm button. I haven't seen any sort of blinking light on this dashboard. I haven't heard an alarm when we've opened it with a low battery or anything like that. So I'm not sure yet whether there is an immobilizer system or not. Now we kind of shift our focus, but we don't want to leave fuel completely out of the question. We need to make sure that the injectors are putting that fuel into the cylinder. So to do that, we're going to use one of these Noid lights here. Basically, these lights will just hook up into one of our injector connectors. The right one's going to be either this guy or this guy right here, just based on the way the pins look. I'm just going to grab this one right here. And so there's our injector connector. Let me grab one of these lights.
That's on the side.
Yeah, just take it, plug it in place. So basically, when we go to crank the car now, we're going to look and see if this lights up. If it does, that means the car is sending the signal to fire the injector. Let's try again. 1, 2, 3. That's so weird. So this thing's lighting up, and it's not starting. And we got fuel. And we've got signal to the injectors, so now I'm off of fuel and I'm on to like, why is it not igniting? But we obviously have some sort of ignition because it started on starting fluid, right? I guess starting fluid is more combustible than gasoline, and especially if we've been cranking it. I've been trying to keep those cranks short because, again, we don't want to just fill these cylinders with fuel. But if we've been cranking it,
if you think it might rain later, then all you need is this bearskin heavy storm rain jacket. That's because this is the only hiking grade packable rain jacket that's versatile enough to cover and protect any regular outfit, but strong enough to handle a heavier storm when you're outdoors.
This is the only 5-pocket rain jacket that comes with a 10,000 millimeter heavy storm waterproof rating to keep you 100% dry, wherever you are. Thousands of men around the world already love wearing the bearskin heavy storm rain jacket instead of their regular rain gear.
It's cranked short because, again, we don't want to just fill these cylinders with fuel. But if we've been cranking it, and the spark plugs are wet, but it died in the middle of us. So this is like where we got initially. This is where we're super puzzled. I'm somewhere between fuel, now ignition is in play, and still potentially the engine computer. Let's go ahead, we're going to pull one of those spark plugs. Let's verify visually that the injector is firing, that there is fuel getting in the cylinder, and then let's take a look at our ignition system. Let's take a look at that. Is it wet? It doesn't smell like gas. Man, look at how old these spark plugs are. I mean, this wouldn't cause it not to run, I don't think. But these are some ancient spark plugs. These should just be replaced anyway. All along I've been saying that I want to see fuel making its way into the cylinder, but I've got to correct myself. This Viper is port injected, and that's where fuel is sprayed behind the intake valves. So when we look inside the cylinder with our scope here and crank the car, there is no obvious fuel spray we can see like with a direct injected car. However, we can see some moisture sitting in the cylinder area, which has to be unburned fuel from the car being cranked over and over again, but not running. So with all these clues, we should be able to rule out our fuel system as the main cause of our problem. So we took this other spark plug out, and look, it looks worse than the first one. Really corroded around this area here, but I don't think that would cause it not to fire, and the idea that all 10 of them have gone bad here, it still doesn't make much sense. So as we were working through things and I was shopping for a new set of spark plugs on Amazon, this thing was recommended to me for 15 bucks. And so even though you'd probably be better off taking that $15 and just putting it towards the new spark plugs, I really want to figure out what the issue is here with this car. And so it'll be kind of fun to just see what happens. So this is quite simply a spark plug tester. When we turn this knob on, this dial right here will replicate the engine RPMs at these certain values. And while we should see some spark here, we've got the lights turned off in the shop. Here we go. So, kind of rule out the idea that even though these spark plugs are old and corroded, they seem to be working fine. As we continue grasping for straws, now I'm going to just hook up one of these simple ignition testers. This is similar to the Noid light. This will light up if both our wire and the ignition coil that's driving the ignition is working. So go ahead, let's crank this thing over and see what we find. Yeah, stop. Yeah, it is lighting. So, what the heck, man? Now, I'm sure some of you are wondering why I haven't pulled out a diagnostic tool yet. And well, it is one of the first things we did right after the car got. I live by these code readers, but in my experience in some older cars, they just don't work all that well. And unfortunately, this seems to be the case with the Viper. All throughout this, with the cranking off and on, we've not generated a single trouble code to help point us in the right direction. But another thing that can be helpful on these tools is the live data that they provide. Right here on this screen, we're going to want to look at a few of these data points while we crank the car. We've got CKP and CMP count, also the RPMs. The way I understand it, the crankshaft position sensor, or CKP, reads the rotation of the crank and provides a signal for the RPMs. If the engine computer doesn't have this information, well, the car won't run. But like I mentioned before, these diagnostic tools can be wonky on older cars, and when we started cranking the Viper, you can see here each of the values we're interested in turned to NA, and then when we stop, there are some numbers generated, so that's good, but I can never get the RPMs to actually show them.
This is one of those issues that should be way simpler than it's become. I have no clue what's going on. We checked all the fuses. Obviously, we did that live data scan, and I thought that showed us our clue there. The fact that there was no RPM signal, no crankshaft position data. Well, that would tell you that maybe we got a failed crankshaft position sensor. If that is indeed bad, well, the car doesn't know exactly when to send that fuel to the cylinder, when to ignite that fuel with spark, and that's all driven by the PCM. But the fact that the car starts on starting fluid, the fact that we can read the PCM with that scan tool, it's got me all sorts of messed up. It makes me want to go back to the idea that we have an issue with fuel, and we very well could, but I just will not believe that we have an issue on all 10 cylinders, and we have perfect pressure at the rail. Guys, if you can help me out with this one at all, please let me know down in the comments. I'm going crazy. I just want this thing to drive again because I really want to move it along for a really big reason. We're actually getting stuff sorted around here. We're making big progress on a lot of different projects, and one very, very big project that's been years in the making. And well, this also has been years in the making. The 599 is out of the field and up on the lift. We're doing the final repairs and adjustments to get this thing actually rolling on the road. Here, I'll show you really the major part of this that went wrong and the thing that held us up for a very long time. So since basically everything in the front end of this car was destroyed during the accident, well, we replaced as much of it as we could. Some of it we had to have fabricated, like our oil cooler down here. But the big thing that we could not source, that just doesn't seem to exist anywhere, is steering rack. You can buy steering racks for generation newer Ferraris, generation older Ferraris. For whatever reason, you look up a Ferrari 599 left-hand drive steering rack, it just doesn't exist anywhere. And I want to give a big thanks to my friend Radarosa, who saw one pop up at a marketplace way far away from where I'm standing right now, and we bid on it and we won this thing. We have a replacement steering rack for this car. The one that was damaged in the accident, V-tuned, kind of welded up just to get it in shape, just to work, and it was not right. When you were driving, things were bad. And so it was fine to get around on and off frame racks, but it was not safe to drive it down the road. We have finally got that part, and the only reason we're waiting is because we're kind of getting it ready for the swap. We noticed that our front sway bar was a bit damaged, and so I was able to source and use one of those. It was cheap, around $100, and it came with some links that we needed anyway. So once we get that all in, we've got our upgraded suspension in, and we're ready to hit the road and finally give the 599 a drive. I'm hoping that's really soon, like in the next couple days or so. But until then, there's a few other projects that I got stashed around here and some other places that I've been meaning to show you. Speaking of crank no starts, I'm really excited to dig into this thing right here. So this was at a local Tampa auction, and it was bought back from the auction. Those are the cars that when they pop up, I take a close look when those cars are interesting. So this looks like kind of just a 5 Series, a decent looking 5 Series, nice color, but it's a 550i. So
if I'm being honest with you, dental implants hadn't even crossed my mind. I thought I was going to end up with dentures, you know. My mom got dentures and grandma.
So this looks like kind of just a 5 Series, a decent looking 5 Series, nice color, but it's a 550i. So it has the twin turbo N63. This has the N63 TU, which stands for technical update. The first one was so bad they had to technically update it. Anyway, this thing has the potential to make a ton of power. It's modified, but it is a crank no start. In the auction listing, they just said nothing. They basically said doesn't start, doesn't drive.
We've gotten it to crank, and we think we found the culprit. This could be, depending on how well it runs, when we get it running, one of the best deals I got this year. I always get myself overly excited when it comes to these BMWs. They've been pretty bad to me lately, but check this car out. Look, it's got the M Sport package, so it just looks better all around. Of course, you got the M on the steering wheel, on the door sills. It's got the better front fascia. This is a really sharp car. And again, I found some really cool mods, so it could sound really good. I just don't know if it's gonna run really good. And now for one of my biggest projects. I really haven't shown you guys. It's maybe been in the background somewhere, and that's this place. I've been working on this for the last several years. It's all thanks to you guys. I finally have a place to store some of my cars. It's still a work in progress, but we have amazing storage and amazing lifts thanks to Ben Pack. This is one of their tallest two-post lifts. You can see that even the most boring cars need a little bit of work, and not even boring. That's one of the newest cars I ever bought, and we still need to do some work to it. But this has been a dream, and finally it's here. Don't worry, I still love working outside underneath the tree, but it's time that we get some of the proper cars, their proper storage. That's what these ultra-wide four-post lifts are for. You can see there's parking for two on the bottom, and of course two up top. And even though they're storage lifts, they got this awesome channel down the center, so you can still get to the underside of most of your car. There's still a lot of work that can be done, so it's like dual purpose. And especially since some old Ferraris are going to go up here, that'll be really handy. I can't wait to drive that 599. I'm literally bringing a new set of wheels over to it right now so we can get it on the ground and rolling. If you can't wait to see that, be sure to hit that like button. Also, make sure.
Ladies and gentlemen, so we out here making congratulations for you on your BBL. They got Bree on the cake with bandages all around her hands. You can't even be mad at it. I mean, hey, make the cake after she recover all the way. Once y'all know she gonna make it. I guess it could be in the company, depending on where you went. If you go somewhere, you know what I mean, that, you know, they ain't, you know, some of y'all can fly to third world countries. Have somebody, you know, cut your booty open, whatever they be doing. I'll be having to fly all the way out there. You gotta take 3 planes, 2 Spirit flights, and a charter jet, and catch a bus. Lay down in the back of a school somewhere and let them people put sand in your butt and then fly back. I'll be flying back. I used to live in Atlanta. It was a lot of BBL recovery.
What is going on with the fastest man in the world? This is Fred Curley, once a world champion and even Olympic silver medalist in the 100-meter dash. Now facing legal issues after being charged with battery on a police officer and allegations of assault from a former girlfriend. And not only that, but Curley was suspended by World Athletics for failing to show up to multiple doping tests. If that wasn't enough, he has now signed on to the Enhanced Games, a competition allowing and promoting the use of performance-enhancing drugs. He plans to get a crack at the world record, but after egoing the law and getting suspended by World Athletics, will performance-enhancing drugs and methods bring Curley back to the top of the sprinting world, or will he just get mogged by other enhanced athletes? What is going on with the fact?
The faster your company grows, the tougher it is to support your customers. Unless you have AI-powered tools to supercharge your service department.
Jeez. Wow. Shocking finish, guys. I love it. Coach Greg and the most exciting classic physique championship I've ever seen. And so this one go down in history. When the winner was announced, we all went crazy. We were screaming and rooting for the champion. And for this monumentous occasion, Chris Bumstead was on hand to pass the torch. And so in 5th place, Niall Darwin, the one-punch man, what an amazing physique. This man truly embraces what it is to have a classic physique. The smallest of waists, the wide shoulders, and the flaring thighs. And so he moved up about 5 positions from last year. And next year, I'm certain he's going to be fighting for the top 3. Niles just needs a little bit more conditioning and more muscle on his back, and he is going to be a favorite. And in 4th place, you guys know who got 4th. It had to be Jose. Jose, around 25 years of age. He brought the conditioning more than any man in this competition. A great looking guy, had the bros bricked up as he began to pose in this competition. Now, personally, he doesn't quite have the classic looking physique, and by that I mean the really tiny looking waist. But he makes up for it with a shit ton of muscle. I'm talking about Dorian-esque looking back and peeled from head to toe. And frankly, he has no weaknesses on his physique. And so in placing 4th, well, it's all about the bones. Insert bones mean.
Based on the bones, you can tell they were waking up at 7 a.m.
And so it then came down to the top 3. And on my predictions, I had Terrence Ruffin in 3rd. And many people said, what is wrong with you? What show were you watching? Terrence is by far the best. In watching him go through his poses, I thought, this guy looks like a champion. If Terrence Ruffin were the champion, I'm sure everyone would say, yes, this is classic physique. He has the small waist. He has the wide shoulders. He has crazy looking definition. However, he's just a little bit shorter. Frankly, my opinion is he's losing because of his height. If he were 6'1" like Sebum, how could you overlook this guy? He would be perhaps 240 pounds, but because he's around 5'4.5", he simply doesn't take as much space. And watching him pose, I do believe he possibly might be the world's best poser in classic physique. From one pose to the next, he does it with artistic beauty, with grace. He has a very pretty / beautiful looking physique. However, I still would want to see more striations. Like when you go through your poses, I still want to see the cross striations on the quads. I want to see the striations everywhere. And so, in my opinion, he's slightly lacking a little bit in comparison to the top 2. And so I feel like he had a very deserving 3rd place finish. I do believe that the majority of the judges are going to have him squarely in 3rd place, both in prejudging and at finals. And then there were 2 amazing competitors. Mike Sommerfeld, who in my opinion, he came back looking better at night. In comparison in the morning, to see him at night, I was thinking, I don't know if Ramon Dino can hold him off. As good as Ramon Dino was in the morning, of which I had him squarely in 1st place, I knew it was close. The way that Mike Sommerfeld looked in the evening, I thought, he might have done enough to beat Ramon Dino. He went through his poses, he had the crispy looking glutes, he was peeled, he had significant amounts of size, and in comparison to the other competitors, I do believe that pound for pound, inch for inch, he had more muscle than anyone. And so if this was a bodybuilding competition, if it was the 212, if it was men's open, I'm giving it to Mike Sommerfeld. And I don't even think it's close. I think that squarely based on bodybuilding, the way that bodybuilding is being judged, Mike deserves to win the competition. But remember, Chris Bumstead had to pass the torch to someone to carry the throne. And so, do we want to reward the champion to be the best bodybuilder or the best classic physique? Chris Bumstead doesn't have the typical bodybuilding physique. He looks classic. He looks a little bit different, a little bit more desirable to mainstream population. After all, he did have over 25 million followers. And he did that for a reason. And one of the reasons is because people love his physique that much. If you asked 1,000 people, would you rather look like Sebum or look like the Open champion? They're picking Sebum, and so who should they pass the torch to next? Should it be to Mike Sommerfeld or Ramon Dino? I'm certain that the majority of people who are watching this right now are thinking, if I had to pick a physique, if I could look like one of those competitors, if I could look like one of those men, I'd pick Ramon Dino. Mike Sommerfeld's amazing. If I wanted to win a bodybuilding competition, I'm picking Mike. But if I just want to have an amazing look physique, one of which men and women would find desirable, I'm going with Ramon Dino. And so personally, I'm hoping that Ramon Dino wins it. In the past, Ramon Dino posing was a weakness. I kept saying, Ramon, elbows up. He seemed to have a great weakness in learning how to display his pose. Previously, he had faded in his tan. His tan was melting off him. This year,
Hi, I'm Luke, one of the helping supplement superstores. I lost 137 pounds. One thing that I really like about community supplements.
he had faded in his tan. His tan was melting off him. This year, I felt he had the best tan, the best skin, the best look. And he really knew how to pose. He had a spin move. He was showing everything off. And so he outdid himself. Going into it, most of the world, including myself, predicted Mike Sommerfeld had to be the favorite, that he would be the heir to the throne. Ramon Dino said, no, I am going to work. I don't care if it's the posing, the dieting, adding more muscle. I am going to be my all-time best. This is my year. If I can't win it this year, I'm never going to win it. And so every athlete, they came in at their best, and so let the best man win. And so when these two men were standing there awaiting the $100,000 first prize trophy, they were holding their breaths, waiting in anticipation. You could see it in their faces. Which one of us is going to win? And so in first place, the announcement, the new Mr. Olympia Classic Physique champion. The announcement was Ramon Dino, and Ramon Dino exploded with joy, and so did the rest of the world. And so very excited to see Ramon Dino accepting the award and getting hugged, embraced by Chris Bumstead. And so what a moment. What an end, what a finale, what a great direction of the sport. People now know that classic physique, it's different than open bodybuilding. It's not just the best bodybuilder with the biggest biceps and the biggest back that's going to take home the title. They have to have a classic physique. It's different from open bodybuilding. And Mike Sommerfeld, gracious in his defeat. He wasn't mad, he wasn't throwing a tantrum, he wasn't upset. He was happy for Ramon. And so Mike Sommerfeld, an excellent second place finish, and most certainly he's going to be thinking, I can beat him next year. Ramon Dino, it took every ounce of his soul to get the first place finish. And Mike Sommerfeld, he's just getting started. Ramon Dino been trying for 5 straight years to defeat Sebum. And once Sebum retired, Ramon Dino was able to be the heir to his throne. And so next year, look for a rematch between Ramon Dino and Mike Sommerfeld. Sometimes it's an easier journey to the top than to remain on the top. And so Mike is going to be fighting harder than last time. And so perhaps all the athletes got on the Turk. They looked absolutely amazing. And so whichever athlete, in my view, gets on the Turk for next year is going to be the 2026 Olympia Classic Physique champion. And remember, if you're interested, you don't have to be a competitor. If you've hit a plateau, if you can't seem to make any improvements, code Greg, 15% off. Click the link in the description. Subscribe, click the bell button, comment the boost algorithm, like the video if you liked it. Don't forget to watch one of those 2 bloops. And if you're interested in Algo RX, click the link. Of course, you get enclomiphene, Cialis, tadalafil, you name it. If you're trying to diet, of course, the semaglutides, Ozempic, or tirzepatide for any of the cooked.
This is the most rare and expensive Lamborghini in the world. Check this out. So cool. When have you seen anything like this before? Check out the interior. Look at this bold single-seater cockpit here. This is the Egoista. Check it out. Egoista means selfish in Italian. And why is it selfish? Because it's made to be a single-seater. It's based on a Gallardo, which is a two-seater, and this was heavily modified to be a single-seater. But here, look at the steering wheel. Awesome heads-up display, just like on a fighter jet. Out. I love this little blinker here. You got your Italian flag. So sick. Now look how aggressive. So sick. Now look how aggressive this front. All these carbon fiber details. You have your headlamp lights on red, green, just like on a fighter jet. Reportedly, this car is worth over $100 million. If you want to buy or sell the world's rarest cars like this one, check out sbxcars.com or click the link below. It's our premier car auction platform. This is the world's coolest owner and the world's coolest car. Check this out. Absolutely. Here you go. You're welcome. Watch, she's about to start it. Are you ready? So cool. Let's check this out. That the owner of this beast is her?
You might be missing out on some Medicare Advantage benefits. Have you checked lately? Sorting through Medicare plans can be confusing. For example, have you ever heard the term dual eligible? Dual eligible means you qualify for both Medicare and Medicaid. If you are dual eligible, you can get a special Medicaid.
Five Guys just asked me if I want to tip. Mind you, I just came in and got my own food.
I'm not going to tip you just because you turned the iPad around and I pushed the button, bro.
Yep. You know tipping culture is bad in America when I have to go to custom tip and manually put 0.
Okay, so today we're going to be taking a look at tipping culture. With the rise of food prices across the board and most people's wallets tightening up, this has been a very hot topic online. I mean, basically everybody wants a tip from you now. They just swing the iPad around and they expect a 20% tip on the already inflated prices for a job that they initially signed up for in the first place. Now they're even making it more difficult to not leave a tip, having 0% not be an option. You have to manually put it in front of them. I swear everything in this world is just trying to bleed you dry as much as they possibly can. We have a lot of examples to go over today, along with comments from you guys from previous videos. So if you want to be featured on a future video, leave in the comments down below. But let's just start off with this.
If you're tired of being asked to add a tip to your $7 latte, practically every purchase you make, you get asked to make this tip. Well, a new survey from the personal finance company Wallet Hub reveals Not surprised here. 86% of Americans believe tipping culture is, quote, out of control, and 83% think automatic service charges should be banned. And that's not all. 51% of people say they tip because of social pressure rather than for good service.
We'll get to the social pressure in a second, but about jobs that would normally be very common for you to tip, like waiters and servers. It's basically any time you purchase a product, period. But we'll look at some of the comments from this video. If I'm standing up while I order, I'm not tipping. I went to a concert and bought a tea from the merch counter and got asked if I wanted to tip. Tip you for turning around and grabbing.
Bro, I'm on Everest. The blizzard just came out of nowhere. I can't see anything. It's freezing and we're stuck up here, man. If anyone sees us, please send help. The camp's gone. I don't even know.
A desperate rush to rescue hundreds of hikers stuck near the world's tallest mountain. A blizzard left nearly 1,000 people trapped on Tibet's eastern slope of Mount Everest, according to Chinese state media. Freezing temperatures and heavy snow putting local villagers and rescue teams on a race against the clock.
Please, anybody! I'm stuck in this blizzard on Everest. I can't see the route. I can't feel my fingers. If someone can get to me, I'll pay you $50,000. I'm serious.
Let's just be real about the situation. You paid $250,000 to go on a trip, and now that you're stuck at the top and your life is in danger, you're only offering $50,000 for somebody to come get you. Let's get into the people that got trapped at the top of Everest recently, y'all. What it look like, TV?
I am back! What it do, baby?
YouTube's own Barnell Hill.
Did ya miss me?
Your very own spokesman for the Insadians. We're inside and we're comfortable.
They're so comfortable.
And I'm back with another one. And today, y'all, I had to bring y'all this one. When I saw 1,000 people got stranded at the top of Mount Everest, because first off, it makes no sense for people to be messing with Mount Everest to begin with. But
the 8-day Golden Week holiday in China, and what should have been the trip of a lifetime. A trek to see Mount Everest. This time of year, the temperature's normally still balmy, the sky's crystal clear. But on Friday, when a freak storm rolled in and evening beckoned, the snow just got deeper and deeper and deeper. Many of the trekkers were seasoned adventurers, but not mountaineers.
If you live in a Missouri zip code and have 0 DUIs in the last 5 years, listen carefully.
Adventurers, but not mountaineers.
In blinding blizzard conditions, rescuers began to lead the first group of hikers to safety. What is usually one of the easier paths to Everest had turned treacherous overnight. A sudden and unseasonable snowstorm trapping hundreds in a valley below the famous peak. Local villagers with their yaks and horses led the massive rescue operation, taking place at almost 5,000 meters above sea level. Breathless due to the punishing altitude, this woman described the scene around her. She said, being cleared by the yaks, others off the mountain. October is usually clear and calm. That's why thousands had been drawn to Tibet for China's week-long national holiday. In this video, one hiker says from midnight they had to dig around their tent every hour. In the campsite, he shows many tents which are almost submerged. They feared they would be buried alive. Tibet's Fire and Rescue Service worked through the night to reach people. Many were experienced hikers like this man, who got caught out by conditions that went from challenging to terrifying. The Everest summit can wait. Climbing into the back of a rescue truck became enough of a mission this time around. Debbie Edward, ITV News.
Up there playing around and put themselves in bad situations, and getting rescued really isn't the problem. if you're going to be alive when they rescue you becomes the problem, because you can simply freeze to death out there.
I can't see anything out here. The blizzard came out of nowhere. I'm stuck on the face of the mountain. I don't know which way to go. My tent's down. My gear's getting buried. I can't feel my hands.
You need to feel sorry for me. I have a heart. It's really difficult to keep warm here.
It's another day up here. I'm still trapped on Everest. The storm hasn't stopped.
We're in Camp 4.
What's that? Sorry.
Purposely put yourself in a dangerous and terrible situation. It's kind of hard for people to feel sorry for you. That's why majority of the internet is like, whoop-de-doo, because y'all put yourselves in this situation, and everybody knows how dangerous Mount Everest is. We all have seen the videos.
Bye, guys!
Bro! Oh my god!
What is you doing snowboarding on Mount Everest, you jackass?
If you ask me, climbing Mount Everest, especially if you're doing it in a large group, has to be one of the most grueling, anticlimactic things ever. Because when you get to the peak, what are you going to do when you're up there with 1,000 people and it's a peak? It's not a park.
Never start a lawsuit after a car accident. There's a much easier way you could receive a major cash payout without suing, without going to court, and without jumping through a bunch of hoops. If you've been in any car accident in the past year, whether you were driving or just a passenger, what I'm about to share could save you months of stress and get you paid way more money than filing a lawsuit ever would. Here's the reality. Lawsuits sound like the right move, but they're usually just the
Is that it?
That's it, y'all. That's the payoff. You can spend $250,000, travel clear across the world, beat your body up, breathing thin air, Your skin is all messed up from the radiation, and this is the payoff, man. You get to be up here, you get to look around, and then you get to risk your life coming back down. For me, this just doesn't make sense, man. The risk versus the reward just isn't a payoff for me, at least.
It's littered with frozen bodies. There's bodies everywhere up there, dozens of them. You saw them? Oh yeah, they're on the route. But the crazy thing is that the ravens fly up to the summit ridge up there. So all the bodies that are up there that don't have like their goggles still intact, the ravens peck out their eyeballs. So there's just these frozen bodies down there, like frozen in time with no eyes. It's the creepiest thing. And 99% of those bodies that are up there, they all need the summit. Really? Yeah. That's why you turned around. Because they got summit fever. They didn't realize that the summit's only halfway. You gotta get down. And when you're coming down, if you got nothing left in the tank, if you gave up everything to get to that summit, now you're coming down, like you can get in trouble real quick at that altitude. Got it. So human body is not made to survive at that altitude. If I were to take you right now in a helicopter and drop you off on the summit of Everest, said hang out here, be back in an hour, you'd be dead by the time I got back.
Who wants to go on a vacation where it's a large possibility you could end up being a landmark?
She's been frozen for decades, and climbers still pass her like a landmark. In 1998, Frances Arsentia became the first American woman to summit Everest without oxygen, but she never made it down. Her body, preserved by the ice, stayed there for years, nicknamed Sleeping Beauty. Others tried to help, but altitude and time ran out. Everest doesn't forgive, it remembers.
If you ask me, man, Everest sounds like a horror story, man. You got all these human landmarks left behind,